Here come your Rockets!
All right, Rocket football fans, welcome to another show. Here we are, all of a sudden, Coach Courtney, we're at, week 6 of the, not counting the bye, we're at game week 6. Yeah. Seems like you get on a sled and it's all downhill. Mm-hmm. So anyway, this is our 7th show of the season, presented by Whitetail Properties, and in cooperation and partnership with these fine folks from around Marion, businesses. Par 4 Plastics, where they make gun stocks to car parts and everything in between. Deer Lakes Golf Course, a couples golf tournament this weekend. You play golf? No, I only play when I'm made to. Colonel Ag, it's harvest season. You know, those guys are out there hitting it pretty hard right now. First, Farmers Bank and Trust on the same street corner here since 1899. H&H Home and Hardware, your Milwaukee and Steel dealer in Marion. Johnson's Furniture and Appliance with sales and service. KB Pharmacy, that's pharmacist Mike Keller and Bradley Boone. Derek Myers down at USA Mortgage, and man, I'll be glad we can hear him shoot some booms off again. Seems like we hadn't been here. A while. Yes, week 7. It seems like we've been gone 7 weeks, Coach. C-Plant Federal Credit Union. C-Plant is for everyone. Attorneys in Marion, Bart Frazier and Kobe Evans. Riley Tool and Machine, voice of the Rockets. I spent some time with Todd Riley today. There's going to be a big award coming up for him soon. You'll read about it in the Crittenden Press. Mulligan's Pizzeria and Pub under new ownership. Former Crittenden County, and Jansen James is running the club now. Tanner Tabor down at YTG Insurance with auto, home, and other lines of insurance. Hodges Sports and Apparels. Deer season, you get your hunting license down there, guys. Okay, the only place in Marion you can buy a paper hunting license, okay? The only place in town. And Serena Dickerson at Full Body Fitness. Y'all know Serena, she feeds you, right?
Oh, yeah.
Takes care of you. Yeah, Serena Dickerson is also the Booster Club president. So, of course, we have with us here today Coach Courtney, the Rocket Hall of Famer, head coach of the Crittenden County Rockets. Seth Henry over here, and Tyree McLean, 2 seniors. This year we've kind of brought all the seniors in, and we're getting pretty close to the end. This is the last ones. Now we just pick and choose, right? Who we bring in. So who knows? We may bring some coaches in or something. Yeah. Talk to them. We'll visit with these guys in just a minute. First of all, we'll set the table for you. What's going on this week? The Rockets will be down at Ty Holland Stadium in Murray. Of course, that's on the campus of the middle school. It's kind of downtown, you know. Come into Murray on Main Street, turn left, go toward downtown. It's right there. You can't miss it. Lights up City Block down there, doesn't it, when they get going? And they play baseball there, too. I played there when I was in school. The Murray High Tigers this year are 5-1, number 5 in Class 2A in the latest poll. That's a Courier Journal poll. They've only lost 1 game. That was to Union City down in Tennessee. Tough team down there, all with traditional power in West Tennessee, and they're ranked number 8 in 1A down there, and 1A is really tough in Tennessee, really tough division. And of course, the Rockets are ranked number 10 this week. We were 8 last week in the CJ poll, dropped to number 10 this week after losing at Owensboro Catholic. And that's a tough out for anybody down there. But 3 of your top 4 teams in our district are in the top 10. Yeah. Mayfield's right there above Murray at number 4 in the Class A poll. So, Coach Courtney, you set the table now for us. You got Murray High. I mean, they're tough as they can be. Division I player going committed to Nebraska. You know, just overall, what do you see out of this team, coached by Melvin Cunningham, who is a former NFL player, former NFL coach, who's tough to coach against?
Yeah, I think he does a great job. And this second year, really see improvements, just having off season with those guys and just, you know, building the program the way that he wants it. and you can really see improvements on him this year. Really athletic. You mentioned the Jeremiah Jones kid, and really good as advertised on both sides of the ball. Plays like an outside linebacker and receiver, plays some quarterback, just an athlete, can do whatever. On the football field, catch it, throw it, run it, tackle, return kicks, whatever you want him to do, he can do it.
He better if he's going to play in the Big Ten, right?
Yeah, and I believe he's a pretty big recruit for him. So really good player. That number 2, I believe his name is Martin. I get mixed up with names sometimes, but he's a really good player as well for him. Two-way player, really nice receiver, and good in the secondary as well. Those two guys definitely stand out on film. And their quarterback, and he's number 1. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
White Robbins.
Yeah, he came over from Callaway last year. Was a really nice player for them, and you put him around those weapons, and he gets even better and a year older, and really putting together a nice season, nice stat lines for him each week. So they're definitely going to be a trouble to stop, and they got a lot of size. A couple really big kids. They have some youth, but their youth are quality players. I don't think they have very many seniors. Looking at the roster and talking to Coach Cunningham, I believe they only have like 4 or 5 seniors on the whole roster, but they're really big, good junior class, and some freshmen and sophomores that step in and play for them, and just overall a good football team. They're good at offense, good defensively, good at running the ball, good at throwing the ball, good at stopping the run, good at protecting the pass. So, and just well coached. So we'll definitely have our hands full with everything that they do.
Just to second what you said there, as far as junior, most of their players, you look down their key players, the top guys that are really, making highly productive in the games that we see stat-wise. Jones is the only one. The rest of them, junior,
I really think they have 4 seniors on their whole team. I could be wrong, but it's a very few number.
Yeah. And, of course, Jones had some other offers. I know Murray State was after him. Louisville, I think, wanted him, and some other schools. And, he went, last year that's what we kept hearing, that he was going to Murray. Then the big schools came in knocking on the door. So he's going to be a big-time player. We can watch him on television here in the next year or two maybe.
Yeah.
So you mentioned also the quarterback. He's thrown for 1,561 yards and 17 touchdowns.
Yeah, and how many interceptions?
I'm
not sure. It's a few. I can tell you that. He really does a good job protecting the ball as well.
Few. I checked that. But and then he's got 2 receivers, Jones, and you mentioned the Martin boy, Isaiah Martin, number 2. 2 receivers over 450 yards. By comparison, and we're a good offensive team. We throw it and catch it very well. Quinn's thrown for about 1,000 yards, and we've got 1 guy over 450. So they're moving the ball, moving the chains, and it'd be tough to defend with 2 of those guys. Out there. So
absolutely.
So what do you do there? I mean, we've got some pretty good corners. Anybody particular you lock down Jones with? He's got some. At 6'5", he's going to have a height advantage on us too.
Yeah, always a kid like that with just such physical attributes brings you issues. Just you could do everything right, and he can still make plays on you. So we gotta. We got to do some things, I think, to try to take him away at times. But it's tough because the number 2 on the inside is just as good.
Is he a big, tall kid?
No, he is a smaller. I mean, in comparison to him, anyway. Yeah. So, and then they run the ball well, and the quarterback runs the ball well. So there's just a lot going on out there. I think you got to mix it up and be able to take away things in certain situations. And it's still going to come down to us just playing and doing the things that we've always, do. I think it's really important this week defensively is not to give up big explosive plays. They're going to get us some, and that's kind of our thing about any good team, and especially last week was one of the highest things we wanted to do was not give up explosive plays, and man, did we give them up. So hopefully we can do a better job executing and just try to make them earn it a little bit, keep them in front of us, and not just give us those big haymaking blows that just hurt so bad.
against Owensboro Catholic last week. I mean, I thought the first quarter we did a great job of containing what they were throwing at us.
Right.
And then I get those teams like that they have so many weapons, they just keep beating on you, and they find a defender slips and falls or something. You miss a little bit of coverage, not tight enough. Just a lot of things happen when they're that good.
Yeah, it is. And we had a couple miscues where the guys weren't covering, in the right spots. But when you're playing teams that are good, you got to be able to mix it up. But you run the risk of having some blown coverages and things, and they're always going to take advantage of them. So we just got to do a better job doing that this week. OCAT's a great test, though, and a great game to get us, where we've seen a really, really potent offense last week.
And, of course, getting ready. This is our first district game of the season. And like I said, when you've got a district that includes Mayfield, Murray, and Caldwell County, who's always a thorn in our side, obviously. It's a tough district, and here we go. We're getting on the sled, and we're going to ride it now. Last year, the Jones boy really didn't hurt us too bad. I went back and looked. He had somewhere just a little bit over 50 yards total offense. He played some quarterback against us, caught a pass or two, and ran the ball too. But he just a little over 50 yards. So you had something for him last year. Can we remake that magic?
Well, I hope so. That's the plan, obviously. And he had a really big game on his defense, though. He had a pick that he took down to like the 2-yard line. Then he had a scoop and score touchdown where he scored on us on defense. So we can't allow him to do those things. So he has a knack to getting to the ball and making big plays. But the plan is definitely recreate, trying to slow him down. The Martin kid wasn't as big a part of their offense last year, but they did have another kid that was really good as well last year that graduated. So, hopefully we can kind of do what we did last year and slow them down some.
You get these guys involved in the conversation. You're Tyree. Do you watch a lot of film on your Huddle app?
I say,
your coach is sitting here.
I get some.
What are you seeing out of these Murray High Tigers?
I think they're pretty good, but I think they just got mainly two good targets, and then they can run the ball, and then the quarterback can scramble a little bit. Other than that. They got some big linemen though.
They've got 2 or 3 other receivers that are up there over 200 yards, so they still share the ball around. But those guys stand out obviously.
Yeah, people stand out. But
number 1 and number 2 when you wear the the quarterback's 1.
7 and 2.
7 and 2.
21 is a really nice receiver for one. I would say.
They're piling up the yards. You're a little over halfway through the season here, and they've got 1,500 yards in passing. They're having some success. Seth, are you a film watcher too?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What are you seeing?
Number 77. He's like how tall? 6.
He's a big boy.
These big tall guys. He's a big tall guy. Seth is too. He looks for the big tall guys.
He's really
man. Just wait till you see him. He's like 6'7". Like 300
defensive end was he?
Plays nose guard and guard for him.
Yeah.
Played for him last year.
Really.
He's only a freshman last year, only a sophomore now. Man, he's really made improvements. Really moving well. I think he's listed around 400 pounds, 6'7", around 400 pounds. Really, really big kid, but really doing a good job being able to move this year and got a ton better. He does stand out on film.
Well, if you can't move him, it still takes a while to get around him.
That's true. Yeah.
When you're that big. Let's talk just a little bit with these guys too. Seth, we'll just start with you. Just kind of tell us your journey in Rocket football. I know you kind of came in a little later than some of the guys. Talk a little bit about your football career.
I started in 8th grade, and I just had to blast all the guys on there. Everyone was trying to convince me to play, and I finally did, and I'm glad I did. But I just wish I continued throughout my freshman, sophomore year to keep playing, because my older brother, Bryson, he was playing at the time, and he wanted me to play so bad. Same with my family and all of them. And I was too much of a wuss about it. I just couldn't.
Of course, Bryson, he took a little time off too. Best I remember, he turned out to be a pretty nice player too. Bryson Baker, for those of you remember Bryson. And then, so what's it been like here for your senior year? I know you play some defensive end, and what's it like? Is it everything you thought it would be for your senior year?
Oh yeah, I love it. I'm loving this year so far. I love the guys on the team. I mean, I couldn't ask for better people to play with, honestly.
A lot of battles down there too. It's pretty
Yeah.
fun watching.
A lot of
A
what?
lot of battles.
Between
Him and Keegan.
Pearson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They go at it.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, during practice. Yeah. Well, that makes you better, right?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Steel hardened steel. Isn't what they, you know what they say, you know?
Something like that.
Yeah. So Tyree, just tell us a little bit about your career as well. I know you. I remember. Let me just say that I remember when you played junior pro football, and I remember everybody saying, "God, you've got to come out here and watch this kid, Tyree. He's a human missile." That's what they all said. He's a human missile. And sure enough, I went out and he was sideline to sideline making tackles and wiping out little kids. And you know, I could tell you loved the game. But then you took a little time off. So talk a little bit.
Yeah. Freshman and sophomore year, I ended up taking a little break for my body to recover because I took a couple blows back in middle school. Got a lot of concussions.
When you're a human missile, that happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, just a little bit. And then, yeah, I regretted it, but I also had to, let my body recover. I don't know if it recovered, but,
And you've had some nagging injuries the last couple of years, and you really, I mean, when we see him and he's 100%, he's a pretty doggone good football player, and even when he's not 100%, he's a good football player. But you've had a few injuries, and how difficult is that to fight through?
I mean, it's difficult, but if you're playing for a team that you love, you just got to get over it,
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, just ice and Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Ice, what?
Ice, Tylenol, and ibuprofen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
It'll get you through.
Get you through. Get you through a game or the week.
I'd say game.
Yeah, you don't need to take all that all week long. It's kind of hard on your tummy.
Yeah.
Can be. Yeah. All right, we're going to take just a quick break here and visit with some of our sponsors and partners, but also introduce you to some of the other Rocket football players. We'll be back in just a second.
Carson Yates, Senior Center, Marion, Kentucky.
Hunter Colonel, freshman, OL, and linebacker, Marion, Kentucky.
Parker Wood, freshman, wide receiver in Salem, Kentucky.
Parker Phillips, freshman, OL, Matson, Kentucky.
All right. Well, we appreciate all those fine partners that help bring you all of our Rocket coverage, our electronic coverage each week, the show that we do, the podcast we do on Mondays as well, and then your post-game show. We appreciate these fine sponsors and all they do to help support Rocket football. Coach, let's talk just a little bit, the Class 2A top 10. Here we sit with 2 wins and 3 losses. And we're ranked number 10. We were number 8 last year in the CJ poll. And that's a poll that it kind of replaced the old Associated Press poll, where you had sports writers from all across the state who vote. And it's daily papers, most of the daily papers. And that's who cast their ballot each Sunday evening, and then they come out with it late Monday or so, or Tuesday morning. But, that shows a lot of respect for our program when you're 2 and 3 and you're still, in that top 10. I remember a lot of years when we had some really good records and we were in the also rans. Down below they list other teams, that receive votes. But here we are in the top 10. What does that say for the program?
Yeah, I think the consistency of it has been really good. I think that, we've gained respect by, playing tougher schedule, I think, honestly, because you don't necessarily just look at our win-losses, but who we're playing each week and just what the film says, not necessarily what the record says. So, and, it's just mostly to our guys, and not just this year, but what we've built forever. We're starting with Coach Starnes and Coach Thompson to now, or maybe even before then, but just the respect I think, has slowly got better and better throughout, especially these last couple years. In 2A, I was surprised. We were top 10, I believe, pretty well all year. I think we ended 7 in the C&J poll or whatever, and just wasn't expecting it, because in 1A sometimes it was hard to get on it, so it was kind of surprising. But we've been getting respect around the state, and it does feel good, I think, for the guys to say, especially when you go to 2A, because when that happened, a lot of people were, it's kind of deflating, I think, around it in the beginning, but showing that these guys can compete each week, starting with last year's team and this team. We still have a lot to prove this year, obviously, with midway through the season and starting to get into the bulk of that 2A play. But showing that we can compete here, too, is a big deal, I think.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe last year was the most successful 2A season we had ever had. Isn't that right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's obviously helped, and we also, you mentioned a lot of back through Coach Starnes, but we also don't forget the '85 state championship team under Pat Gates, and then after Pat left, Gary Crum was here for 1 year, and then Steve Pardue was here, had a couple of real good years, and then moved on and eventually coached at University of Kentucky, and we were talking about him before the show. He's in the Georgia Hall of Fame now, won some state championships down there. So, but prior to '85, Crittenden was kind of, I'm not going to say a doormat, but everybody wanted to play you on homecoming.
63 team or what?
The 63 team.
Outside of that,
the 60, and the 63 team is the one that played Murray to a tie, and won the regional championship because they had one more first down.
Yes,
first downs.
That's crazy.
Were the tiebreaker back then, and then they went on and played Shelby County or Shelbyville. I can't remember I believe it was Shelbyville. And lost there in the state, I guess, semis back then. Mm-hmm. But and a lot of those guys, we're losing a lot of those guys that were on that team. There aren't too many of them left. I have a picture up in the front office, and you just there aren't many left on there. But yeah, the respect has been built, and like you say, last year and then this year, we tough schedule. We're not. We're playing them. We're playing a tough schedule, and holding our own. So looking at this class 2A, of course, Owensboro Catholic, a team we played last week, the number one team in Class A. They have 14 of 16 first place votes, and they're 6-0. Number 2, Beechwood, just a perennial power. Lexington Christian, another private school that's just year in year out tough to beat. And then when you come to Mayfield, Murray, Prestonsburg, Betsy Lane, Somerset, Bracken County, and then Crittenden. That's your top 10, and tough teams, all of them, no question. It's nice to be in there with those guys.
Yeah, absolutely, really, really good teams. Especially, I don't know exactly some of them on the other side of the state, but the ones that you mentioned that were the perennial powerhouses that are there every year, and then obviously we got to know a couple of them really good with being in our district and in our cross district. So all very deserving teams and really good. Yeah.
So as a player, Seth and Tyree, what does it mean? We'll start with Seth. What does it mean to you? Here we are, and still in the top 10. Although we're not even a 500 team right now. What does that say for us?
I'll just say that we're a tough team all around.
Yeah.
I think that we all have solid plays, and then sometimes, like the way you were saying, we just have a breaking point, like maybe deep in the third, maybe first, second half. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it just proves that we can really match up against these type of teams, and I think we do amazing against them, but we could do better for sure.
Tyree, what do you think about it? You enjoy these? Do you look at the polls and what people say about you? Does that lift you up, bring you down?
Oh yeah, it lifts me up, but as long as, I don't know. I don't know.
So, when you're in the top 10, does it feel like you have a target on your back?
No, it just encourages me to do better and not to upset the people who are actually rooting for us out there.
Yeah. As far as Class 2A goes, now remind me, Coach, we're in it for 2 more years, right?
After this one, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And through Class, and they're doing it every 2 years.
Every
now.
2, yeah.
You know, I think going back to the schedule, you know, if you circled the games that we were supposed to win, and here we are, you know, 5 games in, we've won the games we're supposed to win.
Supposed to win, probably.
I would say, yeah. You know, and then you look at the teams that we've lost to. You know, McCracken County is McCracken County. It's a huge school. You know, and then you take Union County, which for Union County's always tough when we play them. Always tough when we play them.
Oh, they've had one of the best runs in Western Kentucky right now. They're the most underlooked team in Western Kentucky as far as what they've done. They've lost very few games the last 4 years.
Yeah,
like very few.
And really
like on one hand.
Going back, I mean, you know, I remember a lot of battles with them in Paducah Tillman in that 3A back when they played.
Not too long ago.
Yeah, and they had some great teams back in the 70s, and just a good football school. Traditionally very, very good. You know, but like you said, they're in there with some of those other great elite type teams sometimes, and they've kind of been overlooked. But then our other loss was to #1 team in the state, Kentucky in 2A, Owensboro-Catley, and they're actually in the top 10. All classes were ranked in the top 10. Just want to touch back on these guys again. Talk about you know, here we go. Your senior season's halfway over now, and we're 2-3. What do you want to see us do down the stretch as we start this district run, Seth?
Man, I don't know. It's so hard. I really hope that we have a good rest of our senior season for sure. But I hope we really prove to what some of the people think that we can do. I hope that we do show them what we can do.
Well, you got Mayfield and Murray coming up here pretty quick. We got an opportunity to show some folks.
Oh, yes, sir, for sure.
Yeah. What's it going to take to you know, win a home field advantage? You know, guys, if we got to win 2 games in our district to host a first round playoff, and here we're staring at the teams we've got to play: Murray, then Mayfield, and Caldwell. What are you looking at that schedule, man? What do you think? That's going to be tough, huh?
Yeah, they are tough teams for sure, but I mean, we have amazing players. We're an amazing team. I feel like we can for sure put up a fight, and I think that we can do good.
Tyree, what do you see that will make a difference as we go into this district part of the schedule over the next few weeks? As far as, you know, we've got some guys healthy now. You know, yourself that's kind of been out, and some other guys. And we came out of the game last week against OCATH relatively healthy. So, you know, that's a good note. What do you think we need to do in the next 2 or 3 weeks to really get on track and beat some of these teams that maybe some people think we can? If you look at the rankings.
I'd say a lot of heart and dedication. Towards the beginning of that game, the OCATH game, we played together like really well, and we was moving the ball and just stopping the ball, and then got to the red zone, didn't score that much, and then just let off. And our own team starting to, you know, question each other, and then that's where it all falls off. So as long as we stick together and do all that, then I think we'll be good.
Yeah, just fortify everything, just keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
Play hard. Coach Courtney, what do you say about, you know, here we go, district time, and like as we've illustrated, it's not the easiest district in the state of Kentucky. I would say obviously the toughest. So
what we've been working towards all year, just playing fundamentally well, just limiting mistakes, taking care of the football, playing together as one. I think we've grown every week as a team, and I think, like you said, most of the time we do a really good job playing within each other, and there's other times where we don't. But it's just getting all that together and coming together now for the one purpose. We've said it's the most important week of the year. It's the beginning of district play, and you know, I think the guys, you know, got to buy into that, and I think that they have. So I don't think there's anything, you know, just that has to happen. Just playing solid football, not losing football, not giving up explosive plays, turning the ball over, the things that get you beat. That we've worked really hard on not doing, that we do really well about 0.5% of the time. There's no more tomorrow. That's what I tell these guys. There's no more my bads. This one counts, and it counts big. And it's time to just put it all together. There's no magic to it or anything, but it's just putting one good play together and then one more, and then just continuing. And then if a bad play happens, play the next one. And then that's really it. And that's our focus going in this game and each week.
So how close are we to really putting this together? I mean, you feel like you've got some good pieces, and how close are we?
Yeah, at times it feels really, really close, and at times it feels far away. So I think like a team like Owensboro Catholic last week, man, the first quarter it feels like we're really close. In times in the second quarter, and then when it gets going away, it feels like, man, we're not ready for this, for whatever reason, to put it together for 4 quarters. That's the question for me to them. Can we put it together for 4 quarters? We're mentally tough enough when things go bad to withstand the storm and put it together for 4 quarters. That's what we got to figure out to be able to play with these top teams. We can play with anybody for a quarter or two. We have the talent to do it. But when bad things happen, are we going to fall apart, or can we battle against them and put it together for 4?
Yeah. Tyree, how do you respond when a team starts – they hit you for a couple of big passes, like O'Cath went for 50 yards and 75, and then so how do we keep from going off the rails? What do you do mentally? How do you get tougher?
I really just say to myself, I don't think about it. I just put it in the past because it's in the past. So why think about it? Just do better the next play, like Coach says.
Yeah. You got any advice, Seth?
No, sir. You just gotta get on with the next play.
All right. Well, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to get on with the next game. We're going down to Murray High this week, Friday night, and Coach Courtney, what you got a ticket? Ticket information for us. Every week it's different. We want to always try to keep our fans informed.
I believe this is just like a home game for us, but let me make sure.
The GoFan.
Yes. Yeah, tickets be on GoFan or credit cards at the gate, but there will be no cash. So just like a home game for us.
And Murray's a great place to go play. It's always a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
There's
nice
stadium. The old, Ty Holland Stadium, is named for a legendary coach from Murray, Ty Holland. And they've played football in Murray since 1904. I mean, they have a history of great football program over the years. And then that Ty Holland Stadium, like I said, it also is. Where you play football is the outfield or their baseball, for the baseball field. So it's old school.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is old school, and I like when, and I think they still do it when they would have you at third down and the boom, they play that the bell tolls for you or something, and they always have great announcers. They always when you kick the ball on one end, it hits the school, the brick wall of the school. Yeah. And it's right on the city streets, right across. You can kick a ball over to the hospital, literally. But anyway, great place to play. We always enjoy going down there. Plenty of places to stop and eat there in Murray too, going in or coming out. So we'll see you at Ty Holland Stadium, 7:00 kickoff. Get there early because parking's kind of tough down there.
Honestly, don't know.
There's nothing. You drive in on a bus. I hear I'm going to be driving you in this week.
Yeah, you're going with us.
You can drive the bus. So. All right. Well, we'll see you down at Ty Holland Stadium. Like I said, get there early. Avoid all the parking headaches that you can run into of being down there almost in downtown Murray, parking on the street corners. So. We'll see you at Murray and watch these Rockets go get the Class 2A district schedule started.